Taurus, stop. Just stop for a minute. Forget everything you were doing and pay attention to what I'm about to tell you, because there's a message being delivered to you right now, and if you let it pass, you'll carry the weight of that ignorance for the rest of your life. God is moving pieces on the chessboard of your existence, and you, stubborn as always, still haven't realized that everything, absolutely everything, that has happened to you lately was preparation for what's coming next. Do you think you're here by accident? Do you think you clicked on this video just because you were bored? Because the algorithm suggested it? Wake up, Taurus. There's no such thing as chance when God needs to speak to you, and He needs to, urgently. Because what He's about to do in your life is so great, so impossible in human eyes, that if He doesn't prepare you now, you won't be ready when it happens. And it will happen. It's not if, it's when. And when is closer than you imagine. Take a deep breath, seriously breathe, because what comes next will shake structures within you that have been dormant for years. It will poke at wounds you swore were healed. It will bring to the surface hopes you buried, because it hurt too much to believe. But today, now, at this moment, God is saying, the time has come. The time for you to stop surviving and start living the life that was designed for you even before you were born. Look at your life now. Look honestly. Have you been living or just enduring? Have you been making sense of it or just tolerating it? Because Taurus, you've become an expert at enduring, at carrying, at bearing the weight without complaining, without asking for help, without showing that you're bleeding inside. And God saw every tear you swallowed, every night you pretended to be okay, every morning you got up reluctantly, but got up anyway because someone has to. He saw it all. And now He will reward you, but not in the way you expect, because the blessing that's coming isn't relief, it's not comfort, it's not that pat on the back and a well done, you held on. No. What God is about to do is give you back the life you sacrificed, give you back the dreams you abandoned, give you back the person you were before the world taught you to be small, well-behaved, realistic. And that, Taurus, is terrifying, because it means you're going to have to let go of everything you built on fear and rebuild on faith. Let me ask you a direct question. When was the last time you asked God for something and truly believed He would deliver? When was the last time you prayed not out of obligation, not out of desperation, but out of genuine connection? When was the last time you trusted in something greater than yourself? Because you've become so independent, so self-sufficient, so I can handle it myself, that you've forgotten there's a force in the universe wanting to work in your favor. And that force is losing patience with your stubbornness. God is calling you, not with an audible voice, not with a sign in the sky, but through that discomfort in your chest that you can't explain, through that feeling that something needs to change but you don't know exactly what, through that restlessness that wakes you in the middle of the night and makes you question if that's all there is to life, if it boils down to paying bills and fulfilling obligations. This discomfort is not anxiety. It's the divine nudging you, telling you get up, wake up, it's time. And do you know what His plan is? It's to restore everything that was taken from you, every relationship that ended hurting you, every opportunity that passed you by and you couldn't seize, every time you chose security over your dream. Every moment you betrayed yourself to please others, God will give it back. Not in the same way, because you don't need what you had anymore. You need what is better. And what He is bringing is so superior to what you lost that when it arrives, you will understand why you had to wait so long. But here's the hard part. You'll need to let go to receive. And Taurus, you don't know how to let go. You hold on. You cling. You cling to what you know even when it's suffocating you, because at least it's familiar. You prefer the known prison to the unknown freedom. And God knows this. That's why He won't give you a choice. He will simply remove what needs to go. He will close doors you insisted on keeping open. He will distance you from people you thought you needed, and it will hurt. It will seem like punishment, but it's preparation. There's a war raging right now, an invisible war for your soul, for your faith, for your courage to believe you deserve more. On one side, there's God with the perfect plan. On the other, there's fear telling you that you're not worthy, that it will go wrong, that it's better not to risk it. And you, in the middle of this war, have to choose which voice you will believe. The voice that diminishes you or the voice that elevates you, the voice that imprisons you or the voice that liberates you. And this choice, Taurus, you have to make now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. Look, I know you're tired of promises, tired of motivational messages that say everything will be all right, but nothing changes. Tired of hearing that God has a plan, but you only see closed doors and blocked paths? I understand, but this weariness, this discouragement, it's the last test before the turning point. It's the darkest night before dawn. And if you give up now, if you let go of the rope just when victory was approaching, you'll never forgive yourself. So tell me something. Are you going to trust or are you going to control? Because those are the only options. You can keep trying to force things to happen your way, on your timeline, with your strategy, or you can let go, surrender, trust that there is a higher intelligence orchestrating everything. And when you finally let go, when you stop fighting the river and start flowing with it, that's when the magic happens. That's when you see God working in ways that defy all human logic. Let me tell you something about what's coming. It's improbable. It's inexplicable. It's one of those miracles that when they happen, you can't attribute to any effort of your own. You can only look to the sky and say, "Thank you," because it will be obvious that it was divine. It will be obvious that you couldn't have done it alone. And do you know why God does this? To remind you who is really in control, to break this illusion that you are self-sufficient, to bring you back to a position of humility and gratitude. But there's a catch. When that blessing arrives, it will come with responsibility, because God doesn't bless you just for you. He blesses you through you. He wants you to be a channel, not a reservoir, that you receive and distribute. That you be a living testimony of what is possible when someone truly trusts in Him. And that means you can no longer live small. You can no longer hide. You can no longer pretend to be ordinary when you carry the extraordinary within you. And here's what will set you apart from the rest: obedience. When God speaks, and He will speak, will you obey or will you question? Will you act or will you wait for more confirmation? Because the blessing is on the other side of obedience. Not blind obedience, but courageous obedience. The kind that says, "I don't understand, I'm afraid, but I trust, so I will go." And when you do that, when you act despite fear, God moves. The heavens open, paths appear, doors unlock, everything aligns. Now pay attention, because this is crucial. You've been trying to do everything alone for so long that you've forgotten what it's like to ask for help. You've forgotten what it's like to admit you can't take it anymore. You've forgotten what it's like to kneel and say, "I need you." And Taurus, that's exactly where the miracle happens, in the breaking point, in the surrender, the moment you stop pretending everything's okay and admit that everything is falling apart. Because it's in the valley that God makes the newbie born, not at the top. In the valley, and there's something about this specific moment in your life that you need to understand. It's not casual. It's not random. Everything you've been through was strategic. Every pain taught you something. Every loss prepared you. Every disappointment strengthened you. And now, with all this baggage, with all this maturity gained in the desert, you're ready. Ready to receive without wasting. Ready to value because you know the price. Ready to honor the blessing because you understand the responsibility that comes with it. But I need to warn you about something. When God starts to act, things will move fast. It will seem like everything is happening at once. Opportunities will appear. The right people will show up. Doors will open in sequence. And you, accustomed to slowness, to struggle, to scarcity, you will be confused. You will question if it's real. You will look for the mistake because you've become accustomed to difficulty. And when ease arrives, you become suspicious. But look, Just because it was easy doesn't mean it wasn't God. Sometimes the greatest test of faith is accepting the blessing without questioning. And you know what else? Not everyone will celebrate with you. When God starts to lift you up, when you start to prosper, when your life starts to reflect the grace that has always been available, but you didn't access, some people will be bothered. They will question whether you deserve it. They will look for flaws. They will remind you of who you were as a way to prevent you from becoming who you are becoming. And you will have to choose retreat to make others feel comfortable or move forward even if it bothers them. Let me give you a very practical instruction now. In the coming days, pay attention to the signs. God doesn't shout, but He communicates through people who say exactly what you needed to hear, through opportunities that appear out of nowhere, through that strong feeling you can't ignore. Don't dismiss anything as coincidence. God works through what you call chance. And if you start to notice the patterns, it will become obvious that there is a divine hand orchestrating your story. And there's something else God is about to do. He's going to give you back hope, that genuine hope you lost along the way. The hope that was crushed by every disappointment, every broken promise, every time you believed and were wrong. You built walls around your heart and called it protection, but in reality, it's a prison. And God is going to tear down those walls. He's going to make you believe again. He's going to make you dream again. He's going to make you feel that life still has so much to offer and you still have so much to live for. But this requires you to do something you hate. Take risks. Because faith without risk isn't faith. It's just intellectual agreement. True faith is when you take the step without seeing the ground, when you let go of security without any guarantee of what's to come, when you trust the invisible more than the tangible. And Taurus, you're an earth sign. You need to see to believe, but this time you'll have to believe to see. And that goes against everything you are, but that's exactly why it will transform you. Now breathe with me again. Because I need to prepare you for something. You're going to be afraid. When the blessing comes, when the door opens, when God finally says now, you're going to feel that terror in your stomach. That voice saying, what if it goes wrong? And that's the thing. You can't let fear decide. You can feel fear and act anyway. You can tremble and move forward. You can cry and obey. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite it. And God isn't asking you to be fearless, He's asking you to be obedient. There's one last truth you need to hear before I finish. God never abandoned you. Even when you felt alone, even when you prayed and it seemed like no one was listening, even on the days you questioned if He truly cared, He was there, carrying you when you had no strength left, holding you when you were about to fall, fighting for you when you didn't even know you were at war. And now, after everything, He will show you why it was worth continuing, why it was worth not giving up, why it was worth trusting even without understanding. And do you know what God wants you to understand now? That you don't need to be perfect to be blessed. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have your life completely organized. You don't need to deserve it. Because grace, by definition, is undeserved. It's what you receive not because you earned it, but because He decided to give it to you. And Taurus, you spend so much time trying to be worthy, trying to prove your worth, trying to earn the love that is already yours by right. Stop it. Stop trying to buy what has already been paid for. Stop trying to deserve what has already been given freely. And there's something sacred about this moment you're in right now. You're at your breaking point. At the point where you either surrender completely or you harden completely. And God knows this. He brought you to this breaking point on purpose. Because it's only when you can't take it anymore that you finally stop fighting and allow yourself to be helped. It's only when you admit you failed that He can show you that He never fails. It's only when you acknowledge your weakness that His strength manifests in you. Look, I need to be direct with you about something. What God is about to do will require you to change, not superficially, not just in attitude or behavior, but in identity. You will have to let go of the person you were and allow who you truly are to be born. And death, even though necessary for rebirth, hurts. You will have to let go of old beliefs, abandon family patterns, let go of relationships that only worked because you were small. And this will feel like loss before it feels like liberation. But here's the promise. On the other side of this death, there's a life you didn't even know you could have. There's a version of you living in abundance, in peace, in purpose. A version that doesn't apologize for existing, that doesn't diminish itself to fit into the cramped spaces offered to it. That doesn't accept crumbs when God has prepared a banquet. And that version, it's knocking on the door now, wanting to come in, wanting to take the place of the tired, resigned, surviving version you've been. And there's one more thing about this transformation that God is preparing. It will surprise you. You have an idea of what you want, what you need, what your ideal life would be like. But God doesn't work with your ideas. He works with His plans, and His plans are always bigger, always better, always more surprising than anything you could imagine. So when it comes, and it's not exactly as you expected, don't reject it. Don't compare it to your version. Just receive it, because what He has for you is better than what you asked for. Do you know what the biggest obstacle is between you and the blessing right now? It's not lack of faith. It's not sin. It's not unworthiness. It's stubbornness. It's that part of you that insists on doing things your way, in your time, with your method. It's that voice that says, I've already tried trusting and it didn't work, so now I'll do it myself. And as long as you cling to that stubbornness, as long as you insist on controlling, God cannot act fully. Not because He doesn't want to, but because you don't let Him. You tie His hands with your insistence on being independent. So here's the invitation. Surrender. Not tomorrow. Not after things get better. Now. Just as you are. Confused, tired, hurt, doubting. Surrender everything. The plans that didn't work out, the dreams that died, the wounds that haven't healed, the unanswered questions. Put everything in His hands and say, I don't know what to do anymore, but I trust that you know. So do it your way, in your time, with your wisdom. And when you do that, when you truly let go, that's when the heavens move in your favor. So Taurus, when the transformation begins, and it has already begun the moment you decided to watch this far, don't resist. Don't try to control it. Don't try to understand everything before moving. Just trust, just surrender, just obey, because what God is about to do is greater than anything you could plan, achieve, or manipulate. It's supernatural, it's undeserved, it's pure grace. And all you need to do is open your hands, let go of what no longer serves you, and receive what has always been yours. So tell me, are you ready to stop fighting and start trusting? Or will you insist on carrying alone a weight that was never yours to carry?